Yeah, he was, and yeah, truth be told, I'm looking forward to some fresh talent here that could take viOLet on because it wasn't too close last week, folks.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw Atero absolutely wreck his opponent last match, but apparently in the finals last week, viOLet absolutely wrecked Atero. So, again, hopefully we're going to get some players who can kind of challenge that. We're going to see a little bit of ZVP here on Tal'Darim Altar coming right up.
Hey, there's not enough smack in the chat right now, you guys. You guys need to make some calls, get some balls, throw down your predictions, and give reasons why. Because I'm going to read them, and then I'm going to formulate my opinion based on yours and pretend it's mine.
Absolutely.
Oh, can I go tasteless on this?
Can you go tasteless on this? Yeah. Absolutely.
In the red, in the top left position, we've got last week's rundown champion, the champion of the first ever rundown with Rance. I will always be partial to this man because of that victory. viOLet, and in the pink, a so not manly color, we've got our friend Caliber playing the Protoss in the top right.
Yeah, and Caliber actually from the Kiwi Clone Army, and he's actually a student at the University of Washington. He studies philosophy and plays Protoss. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how those two go together, but he actually made it to the losers round 7 at MLG Anaheim and Orlando, and he took out some really good players in that run, including players like Vibe and Skew and Gosu Sticks. So, a pretty good, Grandmaster level Protoss. Let's see if he can bring some hurt onto Vibe, and we'll have to see. Looks like he's going for that early expand with that pylon going down outside his natural expansion.
In viOLet's base now, you can see spawning pool first for viOLet at a pretty high drone count. Looked like it could have
14
been
pool.
14, okay, pretty high, but not overly high there. I love the forward pylon, and I love Nexus first builds on this map in any situation here. How does it play out against Zerg, though? Because we saw it last week where it appeared to be a Nexus first build, but then you would see the Overlord come in and start scouting, and then you would be like, okay, fine, and throw down a quick forge.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those questions because going Nexus first, obviously if your opponent is going for, say, a hatch first build or a very delayed pool, build, it can put you in a huge advantage, like absolutely monstrous advantage going into that mid game. However, the problem with Nexus first, as I think we've all seen with a player named Naniwa, is that if you go Nexus first, and you're known for going Nexus first, your Zerg opponents are just going to one-base roach you, and then you will just lose all of your games. And that's why Naniwa is kind of 0-10 in GSL matches. So, it's one of those deals, right? If your Zerg opponent sees you go Nexus first and they try and expand, like take an early third, and you were successful with your, say, like your Void Ray pressure or your Zealot pressure earlier in that game, then you can really deny that third and do a lot of damage. But hold on, some Lings sneaking straight into the main. They're going to get at least one probe kill here, but that cannon is finishing up, and those Lings are going to remain silent for a moment here. But a lot of probes getting pulled down to that expansion, and it looks like he's just kind of left his main.
Yeah, I guess it's not really that much of a threat. What is he just going to sack the main and send everything into the expansion here? Was it really that big of a deal to leak those 4 drones?
I mean, leaking the 4 Lings in is something you definitely don't want to have happen. What I can think is that he's sending that first Zealot to go deal with those Lings, but I mean, 4 Lings will kill a Zealot if microed, and I'm sure that viOLet has the micro to do that. So, yep, look at that, pulling the wounded Zergling away. And that Zealot is going to have to pull back to the front there and wait for another unit.
Cybercore makes it up, but the main Nexus for Caliber is still under siege. Meanwhile, viOLet in his own base, he's working on cleaning out that third, and you can see he's rolling in tons of dough right now. Would you think he's going to take it to the quick third, seeing this Nexus first build?
Absolutely. I mean, I would be surprised if he threw down a gas, before he had 4 hatches up. I mean, and that's a very aggressive macro play out of viOLet to do that, but in this position, he's done so much damage with these 4 Lings that he really shouldn't have been able to do that I don't think it's any question in my mind. Oh no, he is actually throwing up 2 gases. So going for a little bit quicker of a tech, I would have expected to see him throw down a macro hatch in the main, as well as that third base first before opting for the gas.
All right, 2 gases get populated with drones here in the Zerg base, and you can see not missing a beat with any of those injects. And the third finally going down there. That was just a little bit of a delay. Look at how many problems are being caused in here just by maybe just taking up a couple of the APMs that might be spare here in the Protoss base.
Absolutely. I mean, he's at the very least forced a second Zealot that Caliber didn't want to make. I guarantee you that Caliber would have preferred to go Zealot, Stalker, and then a Sentry to get a little bit of that space control. And then transition to something else. But there is still a Ling alive in the main. This is absolutely ridiculous out of Caliber at this point.
Yeah, I think those Lings were worth their weight in gold, because look at this. The entire army is just chasing that poor one Ling around. Hey, let's take a look at the economies here for a second, because there's got to be at least some kind of advantage taking place here. And look at that, 46 drones to 38 probes. Just what the Zerg ordered. And would you think that this would continue here? Is he going to keep droning up, or is he going to pop it for some kind of push here shortly?
With his layer on the way, I would actually think that he'd probably start the +1 missile pretty shortly, and then you can actually time that so that when your layer pops, you start the roach speed, of course, which is a shorter upgrade, and then kind of just play that out with getting the +1 missile, the roach speed all at the same time, and probably burrow as well, and then making a push with all of those.
All right.
But we'll have to see. I mean, that's a 2 cannons at the front is not a huge amount, and we have a robo, a couple gates, and +1 weapons on the way. +1 weapons a great upgrade in this matchup for Protoss.
All right, they're going to hit the front here with these Lings, but they're going to run into those 2 cannons and instantly have to back off for more reinforcements. Not really a threat ever there at that point, but if we remember the Lings that came out earlier, they were the real problem. We're going to take it up here to a 5-gate robo situation on these 2 base, and look at that, +1 about to finish up for the Protoss, and things are looking better by the second.
Look at viOLet dropping that little changeling. Changeling will, of course, get to see some of what's going on. It looks like we have a Twilight Council and another pylon going down, and some more gate introduction as well, and double forge.
Yeah.
This is actually a lot of tech off 2 base.
Yeah, we saw him do this last week, though. This is definitely something that we've seen him do before. He's got a 1-1 timing that he does.
Okay.
And
with the Stalker Colossus.
yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. It was. I think he gets like 2 to 3 Stalker or 2 to 3 Colossi out. And then he takes it home. I don't see the Bay going up, though, so he's going to... Oh, yeah, no, this is what he does, too. He does his 2 Robos, and then he switches it to the Colossus. He'll also get Blink. Yeah.
And the Blink going down. So, but viOLet, though, looks like he's pretty comfortably on 3 base. Let's take a look at the Worker tab for a second, and 71 drones. So,
He's maxed. He's not going to have to build anymore.
I mean, really,
that's pretty much it, right?
You know, you want 75 to 85 really off like 4 or 5 bases. So yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if he makes no more drones for at least the immediate future. And the supply difference, I think, tells it all.
Yep.
I mean, 131 to 94. Guys, if you were watching, you cannot let Zerg do this. If you let a Zerg player get 3 bases comfortably, and just go, hey, we're up on 3 bases, and I've made my 80 drones, and now I get to make units. That's a great way to lose games, unless you've got top 3 control with your army composition, and you just have a beautiful composition. Zerg is absolutely going to overrun you.
Yep. 4th base going down here for viOLet, as well as 3rd base going up for Caliber. If Caliber is able to get this 3rd happening, he does stand a decent chance, but you can see the timing is about to come out here from viOLet.
I mean, we have this big Infester Ling with a few roaches as well. Look at this. Hive already on the way. We're 12 minutes in the game, and he started Hive.
He hit 200 12 minutes into the game last week.
I don't doubt it at all. I mean, if you leave a Zerg alone for that long, that's what they're going to do. Yeah. It looks like Templar Archives and a Dark Shrine on the way as well. It's very easy for Protoss to take 3 bases on this map, but I mean, this could be really, really rough for Protoss if he's getting Lings into the natural. He's basically just waltzed his infestors wherever he pleases.
Perfect time.
And I think those infestors are going to go into the main and throw down some massive fungal growths on everything. But look at this, absolutely cleared out. Let's look at the units lost stats.
There it is.
There we go. I mean,
okay.
He's killed 26 workers. Go back into the main real quick.
Oh, but look
And
at
the
this though.
GG
Yeah, it just
already.
it melted his face. He had multi-pronged attack.
36 workers killed for viOLet with infestors and lings, guys.
Look at that graph.
That is how you play Zerg.
Yeah, unbelievable. He had nearly a 30% lead in unit production and income there. Gonna have to move a little quicker against the reigning champion of the rundown now, aren't we?